I've always been an overachiever, and the idea that something had changed fundamentally and that I could no longer be the person that I've always known myself and took pride in being made me very afraid. It made me feel that a diagnosis could redefine me and would redefine me. I was having a lot of trouble sleeping. I was having extreme nightmares. I was sleepwalking. I was having sleep paralysis because I wasn't getting sleep. I was walking around very temperamental and angry and exhausted and carrying just a lot of anxiety. So for the longest time, I resisted. The symptoms just became something that I ended up normalizing until I realized that because I had not sought help and because I had not tried to heal, what I was afraid of in the diagnosis had already happened without it. This was the story of Fidel Gomez Torres, a veteran, and his experience with PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental condition created by experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event. There are many symptoms associated with PTSD, but one of the most common symptoms is nightmares. Nightmares that revisit the trauma, and nightmares of general horror.
なんだ てめえ何してやがんだ 俺だガッツだ
Berserk, following the events of the eclipse, had some significant narrative changes. It turns into a story of high fantasy and the mind, from one that is grounded in world politics and the physical, and through Guts, begins to become a story that follows what happens to someone after a great wound or trauma, depicted in his nightmares and visions, and Guts begins to embody an analogy for PTSD. Guts, in the Eclipse Saga, witnesses the deaths of dozens of his friends and loved ones, the assault of the person he loves, and the worst betrayal imaginable. Like many with traumatic pasts, Guts may have PTSD, but his story post-eclipse thematically seems to point out that this is in fact the case. Similar to so many who have suffered these types of extreme traumas. Like the nightmares that are so often linked with PTSD, Guts is constantly plagued by visions as he sleeps, often in universe caused by literal demons. He wakes questioning his reality, and like many with PTSD, he has to go about his day interacting with people as if nothing happened. What's also interesting is the metaphor of his curse mark causing him to be constantly plagued by demons and spirits. When someone is in the grips of PTSD, it's hard to escape not only the nightmares at night, but the sleep paralysis and daydreams. Fortunately, PTSD isn't at all times a life sentence. When you have someone you love, someone or something that brings you peace, there is a window that can remove the remnants of a broken past. Such is a future available to even Guts as his journey continues.